and I get to work with so many different teams within Qualtrics as well as within our partners too. So, you go from a call with your internal legal team, and then you hop on a call and you'll have, something with a first call with a partner, and then maybe you spend the next couple hours, working with their sales rep. So I just really enjoyed the variety that partnerships and being in this type of business unit provides. When we started this kind of journey back in, I would say 2018 was when we started the Qualtrics Partner Network. It was really just about building, like year one was very much building out our strategy, the foundation of, our program. We were trying to figure out, do we want to do exclusive agreements with certain, tier one partners, or do we want to play, Switzerland and basically preach optionality? So those kind of decisions and in the first year were really crucial. And then from there, it was really, hiring people to, manage partners and really turn as many of our partnerships into revenue generating streams as well. So not all of our partners are about, bringing source revenue into the company or, co-selling. Some partnerships are great just to fill a product gap, and maybe we don't even have like a, commercial co-sell with them. So it's definitely taken shape from building that foundation and strategy into how do we really make an impact to our company's bottom line. First off, I always try and really align our company vision with our partnership strategy. So each year it really does change. In the beginning, it was really about how do we build like an ecosystem of partners. So it was really just around like, let's drive, a lot of product decisions and try and find out, who are the top 3 or top 5 partners or vendors in every category. Let's go be with them, try and build out, product partnerships that could then turn into commercial partnerships. We're at a stage now where we actually have a lot of partners in our ecosystem, so we can be a little bit more selective and really want to make sure that if we're going to spend time with a new partner, qualification is super critical early on, because time is our most valuable aspect of our day. So from there, it's around, I would say, qualification. Do they fill a product gap if we're talking about a technology company, or do we have a lot of customer overlap? And that's actually where Reveal can play a big role. And then, do they have the potential to be a commercial partner as well? So do they have a sales team that we can co-sell with and actually have a commercial agreement in place? So, for us, it was really, about building out a large set of partners. And now we're at a point where it's really around how can we turn those partners into commercial partners, because being a public company, we care a lot more about, trying to drive revenue back into our sales team. Today, it's with our Chief Revenue Officer, but that was not always the case. That was actually a recent transition for us. So for the first couple of years, we actually reported directly up to our Chief Corporate Development Officer. And the reason for that, it was really a strategy, stage for us, where we're trying to figure out, okay, what is the reason we even have this team? Trying to figure out what are the aspects that we can bring back to the company, and then starting to build out, our program and get those resources. But now we're at that stage where, we want to be as close as possible to deals, to helping our sales reps. And so we report under our Chief Revenue Officer. So I imagine folks have probably kind of shifted over the years as well. So, maybe kind of the final landing spot is with your Chief Revenue Officer. Once you've, showed that you can be a sourced engine for your company, but, potentially for some folks, they report right up to the CEO if they're a startup, or in our case, it was the Chief Corporate Development Officer. For those that don't work with Qualtrics or haven't come across us, our category that we've created is called experience management. Really what that means is, how do you try and listen to your customers and your employees, be able to understand, the sentiment, what the feedback is, and then be able to take action and automate that action as much as possible. So it's really around just like experience matter. It's so easy for someone to switch jobs these days. So having a great employee experience is so crucial. But also, and I'm sure everyone can attest to this in their personal lives, we used to go to brick and mortar stores, and now you just go online, and it's so easy just to switch vendors left and right, or use a lot of different vendors. So trying to have an amazing customer experience is so crucial because it's so easy today to switch from one to the next. So that's what we're about, is trying to help any organization improve their customer and employee experience. But segueing that into partner experience. So we really treat our partners like our customers. We really want to try and have a hands-on approach, no matter the size of the company. Every large company was previously a small company. So once we decide, hey, we're going to partner with this company, it's really around building that relationship, making sure that every step of the way of that partnership, they feel like we're in it with them. I've been on the back end of some bad experiences personally working with partners, where I'm sure people are all trying to get, how do you get the attention of a super large, technology or GSI partner? And, sometimes, you're pointed to like a support channel, and it doesn't feel like you're getting any love. So we want to try and stay away from that as much as possible. We decide if we're going to partner with you, it really means that you have our time and attention. And that's, I think, why, having a really strong partner experience across every part of that life stage is so important. Very important, obviously, and I'm sure everyone, took this role because of, how much it can make a difference to your company, and also just how fun it is to be, part of, the partnership community. But, why ecosystems are important to Qualtrics, and I imagine there's a lot of similarities with how you guys work. We can't do everything that our clients ask for, or everything that our sales reps ask for. So we're constantly going out and recruiting companies that can help either extend our product offering, that can fill product gaps for us, or that can, bring on advisory services. So if we're going into, a new country or a new, niche industry, getting that subject matter experts that we just can't hire for. That's where we lean on specific types of partners that might already have footprint there, that we can really rely on their expertise. And then in some cases also, organizations will try and move out of the services part themselves. So trying not to do all the deployments in-house, because that can be, pretty expensive on your bottom line. And, if you're a software company, subscription revenue is so crucial. So we also see that being able to look for partners that can help with our onboarding and the deployments of our software can be a huge value add too. So in general, I would say that looking for companies that can really extend your offering and provide that subject matter expertise, or if you're trying to go into like a new industry or country, those are sometimes the fastest way to market, because there's already companies that do that today, and it's a great way to try and enter into something new very quickly. I think whether you're in sales or you're in partnerships, it's always very attractive to try and go out and say, hey, we work with XYZ company, Fortune 100. You just and that's perfectly okay if you're trying to take that chance. But personally, I feel like trying to get some wins on the board early can be more important, because you're trying to get that next level investment, more resources that your company can provide you. So I would just go into your kind of planning and figuring out, okay, if we are going to spend, put all of our eggs in this one basket, there's a lot of risk there. Those large partnerships or large accounts, they can take years sometimes to really see any output. So I personally find that sometimes working with organizations that are my size or slightly bigger than us, sometimes move the fastest and can still be really fruitful. So, just in terms of like, we think the same, we've got similar resources, we've got a lot of shared goals. So sometimes finding companies that are, like-minded and similar size can actually be way more impactful early on. And then you can, take those risks later on once you've, developed those resources and also learned, through building some of these partnerships or, sales cycles that, you feel like you're ready to take on some of those enterprise accounts. If you're trying to go for a big account, whether that's a customer or a partner, certainly if they reach out to you, that's always a good sign. That's obviously not going to happen many cases, but if you're getting that outreach, definitely treat that as like a white glove and do whatever you can to, try and move that forward. Sometimes having that executive relationship. So if your CEO does have some contacts that are, high up into an account, that can certainly help too. So, if you're going to be, trying to figure out, okay, maybe it's going through LinkedIn and figuring out, okay, who are the people at that company I might have first or second degree connections with, and maybe leverage my network to get to the people I'm trying to work towards. But I would definitely say that at the end of the day, what's going to be driving this is that joint customer value that you're looking for. So without that, you can have all these executive conversations, you can get that, meeting with all the stakeholders, but if it's not a very clear joint value proposition that you're able to provide, a lot of times these conversations just end up stalled, or you revisit 3 months later and you're having the same discussions. So really making sure you have a clear joint value proposition is going to go a long way, and ultimately what's going to push things across the line for you. In some cases, if we're reporting to the CRO, sometimes it's honestly like, how much revenue did we get out of this partnership, looking back after 12 months. But that might not always be the case too. So, early on for us, it was, can we build joint product offerings that can serve a lot of our customers? And what was interesting, what we found there was that actually boosted renewal rates for those shared customers that we had. So that to us can be more important than, receiving a deal from a partner, is actually driving that retention rate, keeping your customers happy, and then ultimately finding, upsell opportunities through that as well. So I think it's really going to vary, by company and where you are in that life cycle, but trying to understand like what's the most important thing for your leaderships, and then having those quarterly check-ins that you can kind of measure against and show that performance. Because for us, every quarter and every year, it's actually changed a little bit. One thing we like to say is there's really 3 areas that you need to focus your investments. So the first one is people, right? This is a relationship-based, business unit partnership. So making sure that you are hiring for the right people that have, and personally, this is different for probably some organizations, but we personally like to hire people with like consulting or sales backgrounds that are, customer and partner facing, and know how to build those relationships. So hiring the right people is going to be kind of step 1. Step 2 is really trying to build out processes that can be repeatable. So you're not having to, learn things on the fly and change things constantly, like really trying to figure out, and actually have like a slide that when I do first call decks with our new partners, like I like to show them like, all right, this is the life cycle. This is the process. We're having the first call here. Here are the 4 or 5 different steps to get us to a point where, we're going to start seeing value out of this partnership. So really trying to figure out like, what is that process for you that you can make repeatable? And then the last part too is just investing in technology, if you can. So personally, we made investments in a partner portal. We obviously have a CRM. We've, invested in technologies for reporting and BI tools. And then most recently, being Reveal users. So using technology to try and, take away all these manual processes, or, trying to get out of spreadsheets can certainly make your life a lot easier and just, a lot more efficient as well. I would just say, just try and be flexible is something I have learned. So, when we change, I imagine people are in, startups here, so things are constantly changing, but just being flexible, because how we're doing things yesterday is going to be a little different than today and tomorrow. And so our KPIs have changed every year, and that's changed the way we've kind of gone to market and focus our time too. So that's something I just try to keep in mind, is that flexibility. And I do want to call out that we're planning to start hosting, or actually Reveal is going to be starting to host some networking events. I don't know, this is probably more of a lead into Taylor's talk track, but the first one, if anyone is in the Bay Area, we'd love to get together. We're going to try and do something most likely in San Francisco, probably the month of August. So we're going to be doing some outreach and just trying to get some in-person meetups over drinks or dinner, and just trying to build more of a community out here. And I imagine everyone's been on a zillion Zooms over the last year and a half. So I think that will be the first one for Reveal to kind of host something in person.